Dyatlov Pass claimed a new victim. There was a person who disappeared there, and they can't get to him due to the weather conditions there right now. They cannot get in there, and it's
so he disappeared, or they don't know what happened to him, or what?
Well, I'm sorry. It's apparently he was missing, and then it says tourists visiting Dyatlov Pass at the Ural Mountain discovered the body of a hiker on Friday and reported it to emergency services. However, difficult weather conditions have so far made it impossible for authorities to reach the area and investigate the discovery. They don't know exactly what's happened with him, or actually, I guess I'm calling it a him just by I don't know why. Do not know what happened to the person because weather conditions have made it impossible for them to get there.
Well, so Dyatlov's racking up the bodies again, huh?
Now, for those of you who don't know, it is the Russian mountain range that was actually well known for 1959 hikers, 9 of them that disappeared, or died rather, not disappeared, under very mysterious circumstances. I mean, these people went running out of their tents in the middle of the night in sub-zero temperatures, with some of them had nothing on but underwear. And we're not talking like, oh, it's chilly tonight, we might need a long sleeve shirt. We're talking sub-zero Russian temperatures here. They were going to freeze to death. But whatever option that was facing them staying in that tent or staying long enough to get dressed made the risk of freezing to death, or the fact of freezing to death, worth it to get away from whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, they left behind equipment, they left food, they left taxes, they left everything. I mean, they left all the things that could have kept them alive. They left. They cut a hole in the back of the tent with a knife and hauled ass out the back of the tent. So there was something that scared them enough that they said, we're getting out of here. I mean, when you get that kind of abject fear, that you're gonna put aside all rational thought of freezing to death because you're from the. It's not like they weren't from the area. They were born around there. They know winter. They were all students. They were all mountaineers. They know the cold. They know what the cold can do. They're not gonna run out of a tent in their underwear or with nothing on but a pair of socks, with no snow boots and no skis and no nothing in the middle of the night. I mean, it's akin to suicide. It basically is what it is. I mean, that the death that you're going to for them was better than the one that was out the front door, the front flap of that tent. So what would scare somebody so bad that they would choose a certain death, freezing over what the alternative was? I can't imagine what it would be. But
I've always said that, looking at that, everyone in them has that fight or flight instinct, that fight or flight sense, and basically out of 9 people, and you got to think about that, that's 9 people. Whatever was there was so massive that they knew they had absolutely no chance in hell of fighting it. And this is 9 people. I believe they actually had guns, didn't they?
I think one of them did.
One of them had a gun, axes, knives, so it wasn't like they were going in fist to fist.
And they did have a couple of the men did have defensive wounds, but the injuries they sustained were horrible. They were massively crushing injuries. One of the men had his skull crushed like if somebody put your head in between both hands and just squeezed until it just crushed. Think of the force it would take to cause that. One of the women had her tongue pulled out. I mean, we're not talking about cut out. I mean, something reached in, grabbed her tongue, and pulled it out.
And there was also the eye removal. The eyes were removed without damage to the surrounding skin.
Yeah, the videos or the pictures of that are really quite disturbing. And they're online if people would like to look at them, but they're not for children by any means, and we need to stress that, or anyone that
sensitive viewer.
Yeah, I mean, they're really graphically intense pictures. So, I wouldn't recommend that you let your children see those.
No, they're pretty extreme, because you got to, just to kind of give the people listening the idea of what we're talking about here. These are people that had major injuries, hypothermia, so they were, black and purple and bloody. They were frozen solid, basically, in the positions they died in. So, I mean, it's upsetting. Like you said, if you're sensitive, if you know younger, might not be the best thing to look at. Again, this is another thing we've been talking about for a long time. I mean, this is actually we started talking about this before we even started the channel.
Yeah, the only reason that we haven't really done a series on it is because trying to find legitimate data is difficult. First off, because it's a foreign country. Second off, because it's the former Soviet Union. The data, if it was there, was probably locked away so deep in the vault somewhere in the KGB or someplace that getting it out would be impossible. And since we can't go there and actually look for it to verify the authenticity of it, and because there's so many things online that are blatantly false, we comb through sites looking for legitimate data sources so that when we put something out, we're not putting out or perpetuating another lie, because that's not what we want to do. If we're going to give you data and information, we want it to be correct. So we'd rather wait and do the research the right way, and so that's why we haven't put it out yet, only because we can't really find the right sources to verify to give you the information.